99% of older adults sleep poorly, simply because they forget to turn off this one thing in the bedroom. And just by turning it off, you could sleep straight through for 6 to 8 hours on the very first night. Many older adults still believe poor sleep is just a normal part of aging. After all, everyone goes through it eventually, right? But that is a dangerous misconception. The truth is, there is a silent sleep saboteur lurking right in your bedroom every single night. It does not make any noise, it does not touch you, but it tricks your brain into thinking it is still daytime. And because of that, your nervous system cannot fully relax, cannot properly rest. As a result, you struggle to fall asleep. You wake up in the middle of the night, feel exhausted the next morning, and sometimes even experience a racing heartbeat, restlessness, or a lingering sense of fatigue all day long. In today's video, I am going to reveal exactly what that thing is and show you a simple 5-minute nightly habit that can help you fall asleep faster, sleep more deeply, and wake up feeling mentally sharp and emotionally balanced, like your brain just hit the reset button. Before we dive in, leave a comment below as a positive affirmation, "I choose to sleep well starting today," or any wish you want to send out into the universe. And do not forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on content that helps you live healthier, live deeper, and live more fully every single day. Now let us uncover the culprit that is sabotaging your sleep from right inside your own bedroom and shut it off for good. Number 1. The television. A lot of people have a habit of letting the television play softly in the bedroom, thinking a bit of background noise helps me fall asleep, or I am just used to having some sound. Total silence feels uncomfortable. But in reality, this seemingly harmless habit can be incredibly harmful to sleep quality, especially for older adults. What is even more concerning is that many people think turning down the volume or using the sleep mode is enough. But the truth is, it is not. In sleep mode, the television still emits dim light, the screen still fluctuates in brightness, and most importantly, it continues to release low levels of electromagnetic waves, enough to disrupt the nervous system as it tries to shift into rest mode. You should also understand that when you are asleep, your brain does not completely shut off like a switch. It still hears, it still senses, and it continues analyzing signals around you, especially repetitive voices coming from the television, even if you are not consciously aware of them. Moreover, television content often comes with unpredictable sound changes. Sometimes it is quiet, other times it spikes suddenly due to commercials, background music, or scene transitions. Even if you have already fallen asleep, these changes still stir your subconscious and cause your sleep to become shallow and fragmented. If you truly need gentle sound to relax before bed, consider using a dedicated white noise machine or a soft instrumental track for about 15 to 20 minutes, then turn it off completely. But whatever you do, avoid using the television. It introduces far too many disruptive elements. And most importantly, do not just put the television on sleep mode or standby. Shut it off completely. Using the remote is not enough. Press the power button directly on the device or unplug it if needed. That is the only way to ensure no more light, no more frequencies, and no more sleep saboteur silently interfering with your rest. Number 2. Wi-Fi router. Any device that transmits wireless signals, from Wi-Fi routers, signal extenders to Bluetooth transmitters, emits high-frequency electromagnetic waves. These waves do not cause immediate pain or discomfort, but they constantly interfere with the body's bioenergetic field, especially when you are close to them for extended periods, like during sleep. Just imagine all night long you are lying less than 2 meters away from a Wi-Fi device. Even while your body is asleep, it is still being exposed to wireless signals for hours on end. Numerous independent studies have shown that prolonged exposure to radio frequency electromagnetic fields from Wi-Fi can disrupt sleep, affect the nervous and cardiovascular systems, and even interfere with hormones that regulate your body's circadian rhythms. One important point is that the router keeps emitting signals even when you are not using the internet. That means even if your phone and television are off, if the router is still on, the surrounding area is still filled with invisible electromagnetic mist. And during sleep, when the brain and nervous system need absolute calm, these silent frequencies can be the very reason you struggle to enter deep sleep. The solution? It is simple, yet surprisingly effective. Every night before bed, unplug your Wi-Fi router or switch it off entirely. It will not only protect your sleep, but also reduce overall electromagnetic exposure for your entire household, especially for older adults, young children, and anyone who is particularly sensitive. Some people might ask, but what about my phone alarm or my home security camera? Do not worry. You can still use an alarm clock or a device that does not need an internet connection to wake you up. And if you have monitoring equipment that needs to stay on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you can set the router on a timer to automatically turn off at night. Or you can move it into a separate room at least 5 meters, or about 16 feet, away from your bedroom. Number 3. Smartphone. Among all the electronic devices, the smartphone is the one we are most attached to, and it is also the one that causes the most sleep problems if not handled properly at night. But do not worry. You do not need to ditch your phone completely. You just need to do one simple thing. Switch it to airplane mode before bed. Why airplane mode? Because once activated, your phone stops transmitting and receiving all network signals, mobile data, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth, which means you have fully shut down all electromagnetic sources that could be harmful to your brain while you sleep. And the best part, you can still use your phone as an alarm clock, listen to downloaded music, or open offline apps without affecting your sleep. Here is a sobering fact. Even if you are not using your phone at night, as long as airplane mode is off, the device is constantly connecting to mobile networks, sending and receiving data, and searching for signal towers, all of which release high-frequency waves that impact your head and brain, especially if the phone is next to your pillow or bedside table. Worse yet, many people unconsciously grab their phone in the middle of the night to check the time or glance at a notification. This single action disrupts your biological clock because the blue light from the screen instantly wakes up, your brain interferes with melatonin production, and makes it much harder to fall back asleep. So to ensure truly restful sleep, especially for older adults who are already more sensitive to light and electromagnetic waves, make it a habit to turn on airplane mode every night. Just one swipe and one small icon, and you have created a safe, peaceful zone for your brain to rest the way it is meant to. Number 4. Bright white ceiling lights. White light, often chosen because it is bright and helps you see better, is actually one of the worst choices for nighttime use, especially in rest areas like the bedroom. That is because this type of light closely mimics daylight in its spectrum, which makes you feel alert, stimulates the nervous system, and tricks the brain into thinking it is still daytime. For younger people, the effects might not be immediately noticeable. But for older adults, whose nervous systems are much more sensitive, even a small amount of bright white light shining from the ceiling can disrupt the entire sleep preparation process. Many people have the habit of turning on the ceiling light to read, walk around, or get ready for bed, and then wonder why they cannot fall into deep sleep. Ideally, by evening, your living space should gradually transition into warm, soft lighting, like pale yellow amber or golden hues. These colors resemble natural sunset light, the time of day when your body produces the most melatonin, and therefore they do not interfere with your biological signals. This makes it easier for you to relax and fall asleep naturally. Instead of using a bright white ceiling light, switch to a small bedside lamp with soft yellow light placed at a lower position, such as on a nightstand or in a corner of the room. Low indirect light that does not shine directly into your eyes creates a sense of safety and calm. This is not just a trick to improve sleep. It is also a gentle and sustainable way to care for your mental well-being. If you often wake up in the middle of the night to use the restroom or get a drink of water, consider installing motion sensor lights with a soft yellow glow. These provide just enough visibility without disrupting your sleep. Avoid turning on bright overhead lights or harsh white lights, because even just a brief exposure to intense light can interrupt your melatonin cycle and make it harder to fall back asleep. Number 5. Tablets. Tablets and e-readers like the Kindle have become trusty bedtime companions for many people, especially for older adults lying in bed while flipping through a few pages of an e-book or watching a calming show on a tablet feels like a peaceful way to unwind. But this seemingly soothing habit could be silently disrupting your circadian rhythm and damaging your sleep quality, particularly if done within the last 60 minutes before bedtime. Whether you are reading a book or scrolling through news articles, the fact remains a tablet is a light-emitting device with a high-intensity screen, especially rich in blue light. What is important to note is that these screens are designed to display sharp images and vibrant colors to enhance the visual experience. But at night, when your nervous system needs to slow down and prepare for rest, this bright stimulation does the exact opposite. It keeps your brain active and prevents true relaxation. Even newer Kindle models, which are marketed as paper-like and gentle on the eyes, still have backlit displays in most versions. And that backlight works much like any other screen. It shines directly into your eyes while reading in the dark, forcing your brain to stay alert and making it harder to shift into deep sleep. Not to mention, many people start by telling themselves they will just read a few pages, but quickly get drawn into the content and end up staying awake much longer than intended. The later you read, and the closer that screen time is to your actual bedtime, the more delayed and fragile your sleep becomes. You may wake up more often or sleep more lightly. If you truly enjoy reading before bed, and there is nothing wrong with that, consider switching to traditional paper books or an older e-ink Kindle model that does not have built-in lighting. If you still prefer a light-emitting device, make it a rule to turn it off at least 60 minutes before sleep. This gives your body enough time to reset its natural biological signals and prepare for rest. A critically important reminder that many people overlook: never charge your phone right next to your bed while sleeping. When your phone is charging, it is not just filling up the battery, it also emits electrical currents and electromagnetic waves at higher intensities than usual. If you place it too close to your head, such as on your nightstand or under your pillow, the area of the brain responsible for regulating sleep gets directly exposed to this interference. As a result, your sleep may become lighter, more easily disrupted, and you might even wake up in the middle of the night feeling anxious with a racing heartbeat for no apparent reason. This is especially true for older adults whose nervous systems are already more sensitive. Any interference near the part of the brain that controls circadian rhythms can significantly disturb sleep. So make it a habit to charge your phone at least 1.5 to 2 meters away, or about 5 to 6.5 feet from your bed, or better yet, in a completely separate room. A small change like this can make a big difference in the quality of your sleep every night. But what makes these devices so harmful? It is not the noise. It is the way they trick your brain into thinking it is still daytime, even when it is the middle of the night. And that is exactly why older adults struggle to fall into deep sleep. After the age of 60, our brains no longer function the way they did when we were younger. One of the most noticeable changes is a decline in alpha waves, the type of brain waves that create a sense of calm and help us transition smoothly from wakefulness to sleep. As alpha waves diminish with age, the brain loses one of its natural mechanisms to cool down and prepare for rest. On top of that, melatonin, the natural hormone produced by the brain at night to induce sleepiness, also drops significantly. According to numerous studies, after age 60, melatonin levels can decrease by 40 to 60%. That is why many older adults, even if they go to bed on time with the right pillow blanket and posture, still do not feel naturally sleepy like they once did. And it gets even more complex. the nervous system itself becomes more reactive. The sympathetic nervous system, the part responsible for increasing heart rate, blood pressure, and alertness when needed, becomes more active at night. This creates a strange paradox for seniors. Their bodies are physically tired, but their brains feel like they are still on, refusing to wind down. All of this makes it incredibly easy for older adults to experience insomnia, restless sleep, or waking up in the middle of the night and being unable to fall back asleep. But what makes matters worse is our modern sleep environment, filled with artificial light and electromagnetic waves, quietly intensifying the problem. A study conducted by the National Sleep Foundation in the United States in 2022 revealed that 67% of people over the age of 60 have trouble maintaining deep sleep. Among them, 56% of cases were directly linked to sleep environments polluted by artificial light and electromagnetic interference. Seemingly harmless things like LED nightlights, digital clocks, televisions on standby mode, phones charging on the nightstand, or Wi-Fi routers placed in the bedroom. An older person's brain is already less efficient at falling asleep. Add blue light and electronic frequencies into the mix, and it is like trying to sleep in a room that is always slightly lit and filled with faint, eerie whispers. The body cannot fully heal, the mind cannot settle down, and sleep, which is supposed to be the body's most powerful form of natural recovery, becomes a nightly struggle. So why does simply turning off these devices make such a big difference? To answer that, we need to understand how the brain works during sleep, and why this is especially important for older adults. The human body was designed to follow its natural circadian rhythm in harmony with the cycle of light and darkness in the environment. During the day, sunlight signals the pineal gland in the brain to stop producing melatonin, keeping us alert and energized. But as daylight fades, dim lighting triggers the pineal gland to flip the switch and release melatonin, a powerful signal to the body that it is time to rest. The problem is artificial light, especially the blue light from electronic devices, fools the pineal gland into thinking it is still daytime. As a result, melatonin production is delayed or reduced, and you lie there in bed tired but unable to fall asleep. This is far more serious for older adults. An aging brain does not adjust as easily as a younger one. A younger person might use their phone for 10 to 15 minutes before bed and still manage to fall asleep. But for older adults, even a faint light from a phone screen or a small LED can send the entire nervous system into a state of alertness, even slightly increasing heart rate, keeping the brain in defense mode instead of winding down. Think of your brain as a finely tuned machine. In order for it to shift into repair and regeneration mode, which is deep sleep, it needs a clear, unambiguous signal. Everything is safe. Everything is quiet. It is time to rest. But if the television is still playing, the lights are still flickering, the phone is buzzing with notifications, these conflicting signals keep your brain on edge, making your sleep shallow, interrupted, and possibly waking you up during the night without being able to return to sleep. Even worse, chronic lack of deep sleep can reduce the brain's ability to repair itself, cause toxin buildup, and affect memory and focus, areas already sensitive in older adults. Many modern studies have even shown that long-term sleep deprivation may be linked to cognitive decline and an increased risk of conditions like Alzheimer's disease. That is why turning off electronic devices before bed is not just good advice. It is a vital ritual to signal to your brain that it is time to enter safe mode, allowing your nervous system to shift from activity to rest. This is especially important for older adults whose brains now need clearer, more consistent cues to understand that it is time to relax and that there is nothing left to worry about. After everything we have shared, you probably realize by now a good night's sleep does not come from sleeping pills, fancy gadgets, or complicated tricks. It starts with a calm, undisturbed environment where your brain is truly allowed to rest. You do not need to change the whole world, just change how you end your day. Set aside the last 30 to 60 minutes of your evening to disconnect from blue light, artificial noise, and the endless stream of information. Let your body slow down. Let your mind settle into stillness. And if you are ready to start tonight, leave a comment below as a positive affirmation. I choose deep and peaceful sleep every night, or any wish you want to send out into the universe. Do not forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss content that helps you live healthier, live deeper, and live more fully every single day. Let us build a positive community together, one where aging is not a decline, but a journey back to depth, peace, and the most complete version of yourself. Sleep well, and live each day with greater clarity and awareness.